contrast. Okay. All right. Can I call you back? I gotta finish up. I'm here at the Burger King. I'm gonna review somebody here. So, all right. They haven't sent me anything. Don't you go over to motor vehicle? When you just go over here to motor vehicle, up off of, what is that, off of Riva Road? Because I'm imagining you give me your tag number and is your old registration in your glove box? So I imagine your inspection, and your tag number and your registration, and maybe they just give you a tag. I mean, are you here in Annapolis? You know where I'm talking about, off Riva? Alright. Well, it's the end of the day. You might be able to go in there. At the end of the day, they run through people real fast because they want to get out of there. Alright, but I mean, if I don't have it, I haven't looked to see if I even paid it for it the last time or whatever. Because it's been, what, a couple of years? And you're talking about your vehicle, right? And I didn't give you it. Alright, well, I'm not home right now. I will double check. I completely forgot to double check, but if it came through, I paid it. And if I had it, I gave it all out to everybody, but I've lost track. I don't know time and anything that's going on now, so. Alright. I'll find out. Thank you. Okay, sorry. So, tell me what it is you want me to do. I mean, I read it. I had that paper that you sent in to corporate and everything. And I got the gist of the whole thing. Has there been any other problems since then?
Well, actually, what was it, Wednesday, so, okay, today is Tuesday, last Wednesday, she mentioned it, and then,
Like, are you wearing something that's citrusy right now?
right now I'm wearing the same lotion that I've worn for years in chemotherapy. It's, lemon lotion, lemon plant-based lotion that I get from Whole Foods.
And that's what it is. That's the reason I smell. It's very citrus.
Oh yeah, I just put it on. I washed up and I put it under my arms, and you know, it's like a lotion. I've been wearing it for years and years.
No, I get it.
But the way okay, so June the 21st, 2022. Okay. So, okay, I came in here, I had the Palo Santo. It's not this. It was, I mean, yes, I wear this too, but I've been wearing this for years, but I changed up and went back to using Palo Santo oil. I washed my hair, and I put it in my hair. I put it on, I made a lotion, a handmade lotion with it. I put it all over my body, and I've done it before, years ago, but I stopped. And and I did this, because I remember, because I was happy, it was the 19th, I was doing it, and I was I'm going back to this Palo Santo oil. So when I came in the Burger King, June 21st, 2022, she said, your hygiene. I said, no, this is not my hygiene. If I know I took a shower and I put the Palo Santo, I said, and this is, I did it on this June the 19th, came to work June 21st, and she complained about a smell or a scent. I said, I got the Palo Santo on my hair, and I got the Palo Santo lotion on. And she was like, and I told her it's not my hygiene. And you know, she's like, I'm telling you in the office. She called me in the office. I said, I didn't think it was a big deal because I've worn it before. And I walked. I said, it's a Palo Santo. It's not my hygiene. I didn't think it was a big deal, but because I wanted before he came here, but she was like, I called in the office and I said, it's the Palo Santo. Okay, so anyway, she told me that I can't come here with that on. I washed it out. Let me make sure. she mentioned she smelled it, June 23rd, 2022, okay? She said she smelled it, and she caught me out. And I told her, since you told me, because that day, June, the 21st, 2022, you said that she was gonna give me a week, to, fix it, because she was referring to my hygiene. I said, not the hygiene, I know it's the Palo Santo, but I just, went back to wearing it, and she didn't say anything before then. And she said she would give me a week, and I was like, okay, but I didn't put it back on. Okay, so when she complained on the 21st, 2022, I didn't put it on my skin, I didn't put it in my hair, because you know, you can like redo your hair.
Sure.
And I didn't do it. But she, June 23rd, she called me out, and she told me, she said, she mentioned the smell of the, I think she was calling it a scent, man. And she told me I had to wash my hair. And I said, okay. I went in, I washed my hair. And I washed it on, the reason why I write it down, because, to demonstrate what I did, I was, whatever she said, I tried to do, because she thought, when she caught me out, I was like, okay, and even though I knew I didn't have it on. So, let's see. She caught me out on June 23rd, and then, June the 24th, she told me I was not gonna be able to work if I come in with it on. That's when I washed my hair. I was on the schedule June the 25th, and before I came into work, I've done this before, I washed my hair and came into work, so I was like, I'm gonna wash my hair, before schedule, you know, and come into work. And, I know, and use the same shampoo and wash, and, you know, what I've worn before, even if I wore different, but I know she's, it's the Palo Santo, because that's when she started playing. And I use this other, Revlon, something I got, Pantene, I use Pantene from, Walgreens. Washed my hair, came into work, okay, and that was June the 24th, June the 25th. Okay, so she told me I was not going to be able to come back to work unless I washed my hair. So I washed my hair June the 25th. Then that was the day the electricity went out in the store. Okay, and she came, and when she came in, I'm just telling you what, because I'm telling you what, because I know when I came in and clocked in, she didn't have her mask on. I was washing my hands at the sink, and she didn't have her mask on, and she walked past me. This was June the 25th when I washed my hair before I came in, and made sure I put that lotion on anything. And she walked past me, and as though she walked really slow, as though she was trying. I thought it seemed like she was trying to smell me. You can see, I don't know, but she didn't complain. So I thought everything was okay. And then I went to the bathroom like I usually do, and I came back. And then she said, "Did you spray that stuff on you?" I was like, "No, I didn't spray stuff on me." I told her, I said, "No, Phyllis, I didn't spray any oil on me. I didn't spray anything on me." And then then after that, the electricity went out here. That's the day the electricity went, or not electricity, or there was a surge where the computers, the register cannot be used.
So it's June 25th.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was June 25th, 2022. And so that's when CJ, I think he came up here around 1. So that had to be on a Saturday. I'm pretty sure it was 9. My schedule was from 9 to 4, and there was a surge of some sort. And then all of a sudden the registers went down, and they had to lock the doors, okay? And so the doors were locked, and we just clean. And I told her, even she said, "Did you spray it on?" When I went to the bathroom, I said, "No, I did not spray that on." I didn't say no, but I said no. I said no, I did not spray that on me. Phyllis, I did not spray any oil on me. I didn't. Okay, and let me calm down, because but I'm just getting a little bit.
You're getting upset.
I am, but I'm trying not to, because I want you to understand that I want to be compliant. I want to be compliant to it, because I'm trying to earn money. And then she caught me out, and she cut my hours to a point where, my check is really low. She even so let me just continue. Okay.
So it's on the 25th that said Phyllis clocked you out.
No, 25th, she did not clock me out. It was June the 23rd, she first clocked me out. She clocked me out, and she said,
Oh, yes.
she said, I'm pretty sure she was calling it the sick. I'm pretty sure. And then, June the 24th, that's when, she said, if I don't wash my hair, I will not be able to come back to work. So that's when I made sure on June the 25th, okay, the 24th, she said at 25th, early in the morning, I washed my hair before I came in to work. And I took a shower as usual, but I just made sure I washed my hair, okay? And, that's when the doors were shut for whatever reason, something happened with the electricity. I say electricity because there was like a blink of some sort, but then, so it was, anyway. So moving for it on that part, and then, okay, July the 7th, 2022, when I came in, now, it was approximately 70-something degrees that day, and when I came in, she was complaining, that I stink. This is when she started to use the word stink, and I was like, because I've been very, Janelle, I've been working here since June 2016, so I know in the summertime how you can develop odor. And so even when you wear one shirt,
Sure, after you sweat and everything, if you start to get warm, it might be sour or whatever.
right,
Yeah.
or you just develop a must. I've been working here since June of 2016, so I would wear one shirt, okay? So when you wear one shirt, I would, during the summertime, okay, the springtime is, it's in the low 70s, mid 70s, you start to get a little warm, y'all have the air on, I could still be a little cold. But during the summertime, you can literally work up a nice sweat under your arms. So for the past few summers, many times I would go in the bathroom. When I take a bath, not take a bath, but when I use the bathroom and washing my arms real quick, because I can tell that I worked up a sweat. And there was a slight little must there, even though it was just one shirt. So I know, and that's what I did to make sure I stay fresh.
But
Okay.
did you have enough uniform shirts that you could switch shirts?
Oh,
Did
yeah,
you?
yeah, but I would like some more, and I didn't even try, I told Phyllis that. Phyllis mentioned that, I said, and she cut me off, I said, Phyllis, I have like, 1, 2, 3, I have like 3, older bird t-shirts with the black, with the green and red, and I said, I have, 2 jackets, I have the Whopper, I started to tell her, and, but I'm like some more if you like, have some to give me, and I said, and I told her.
Probably you work 5 days a week. So with 5 days a week, you should have at least 4 or 5 shirts, because if
I
you're,
do.
yeah, okay.
I do, I have more than 4 and 5. Cause now that you said 4 or 5, that's 3, maybe, and then that's 1, that's 3, I have more than 4 or 5.
So you have 3 that you're wearing and 2 or 3 that are being washed or whatever, so that you can rotate. Okay, so what did you have?
Yeah, I have more than 4 or 5, okay, and plus I have 2 jackets. So, okay, let me continue. So she told me,
You were on July 7th.
That's when she started using the word stink. And she was in front of employees, in front of customers. She said, she told me I cannot work on the front line. I'm going to have to go in the bathroom and clean it. And I said, and clean the bathrooms. And I said, okay, no problem. So I started to, so I went in the bathroom. And once again, that day, cause it was about 70-something degrees. That day I went in the bathroom, I cleaned it. It was a little, it was warm in there, but I cleaned it. But she said that she went in there afterwards to use the bathroom. She said I didn't clean it right, and she said to go back. She said you see the black stuff at the bottom. I want you to scrape all that. I said no problem. This is the women in the men's bathroom. And I went back over it again, and I scraped the bottom. I did the wall, and I know, I made sure it was nice and clean. the walls, the bottom part, and everything. And I told her, after she told me to go in there the second time, I said, that's part of the job, and she needs someone to clean it. But she was saying the reason why I'm going in there is because I stink, and I can't work on the front line. It's not because it's part of the job, and and then she was saying it in front of customers and employees. So, but I didn't, but after the first time, when she told me to go in the bathroom and redo it again because she wanted me to clean the black stuff, I said, Phyllis, it's really warm in there, 77 degrees. I mean, not 77, I said it's really warm. I didn't know what degrees were in there because she was saying I stink. But I kept checking myself, and I was like, So I was like, okay, let me clean. And then after I was done, I went back out there. She said you cannot, a lot of times when she started complaining about the scent, she told me not to stand next to her. She told me not to stand in the drive-thru. So that day she said, don't even come on the front line. You're gonna have to work in the dining room. And I said,
That's silly. She put you with all the customers. So go ahead.
huh?
Because now to put you with all the customers is a little silly, because I mean, if she thinks that there's an odor, you don't want your customers to, be offended by an odor also.
I was just trying to tackle smelling myself, and I was like, well, she told me I stink, and it's really warm in the bathroom. I'm scrubbing.
Yeah.
And so, but nonetheless, I
understand you try to comply and not make any trouble.
because I don't want to lose the job because I need the money. So I stayed out here, and I got to a point where I did everything I could do out here. So I started to open up the doors for the customers and greet the customers. I kept just, greeting customers and even Thomas worked that day. And I mean, Thomas was like, what you doing? I said, and I told him, I said, Phyllis does not want me on the front line because Phyllis was still on the in the office. And even though you know how they come in at 2 and they in the middle of switching where the one manager's taking over and the other one. And she was adamant because I didn't want, because sometimes she comes back on the front line, even though the new manager is on to help out and push and expedite. And I did not want it, even though the new manager might say it's okay, I didn't want the new manager that's coming on to say it's okay, and I go on the front line, and she comes there and say, she comes in there and say, she comes to the front line and say, didn't I tell you to stay off the front line again? Because she's already saying, out loud saying I stink. Okay.
And that's the word she's using.
That's what I remember. She's definitely on the juice. Because July the 7th, she went past, and she said stink. Okay? She said,
I will be honest with you, right this minute, there's something that you're wearing that's very, very, I use the word citrusy, but it's really, it's kind of, it's making my, and it's not your fault, I might be having an allergic reaction, it's making my throat like burn, and
it's actually,
my eyes.
I'm not wearing anything that I haven't been wearing since,
No, I understand, but it's definitely very citrusy. And I keep using the word citrusy because, like, right now it's sunny. Then all of a sudden, that's the reason you'll see me, I'll take a drink of water or whatever, because it's like, all of a sudden, whatever it is, my throat starts burning.
Okay, so now the question is, because have witnessed my son use the thing.
Sure.
So what made it become such a big deal now than it wasn't maybe 4 years ago?
Well,
because I've been wearing the same thing.
It's not a big deal.
Why is it citrusy now? Like where? Cause she said even Dora said that she smelled, and I was like, I'm not wearing anything. And Dora was also here when I was wearing Palo Santo. So I was like, I'm not wearing anything that I
see. Here's the thing.
I don't.
All of us have hormones, and all of us have sweat glands, and all of us have different, scents and everything. And we could be putting something on our bodies that may have no scent at all, and then later on, all of a sudden, because we work up heat or something, it like all of a sudden alter the way it's smelling or whatever. But, I mean, I'm not saying, but, like, nothing, I don't smell anything at all right now, nothing. But in a little bit, it just all of a sudden, it's like, it happens, and I don't know, like, my eyes will, like, but that's an, I think that's an allergic thing on me.
I don't know, but, I don't know,
See,
you know,
It's not-
this is the second, I don't see you up here much, so, but, and this is like the second time possibly in, a few years since I spoke to you, so I'm not sure what you're allergic to, what you're not. But what I can tell you is that I've been next to Phyllis for years wearing the same lotion that you're saying you smell now, and she never complained about my.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's nothing you're doing.
Okay.
It's nothing you're doing. All right, start with, don't be upset, it's nothing you're doing.
Okay.
And that's the reason I'm trying to share with you. It's something that could be, that have been going on for years and years and years. It's no big deal, it's no problem, it's no anything, but all of a sudden, there's some kind of different reaction that's taking place. And the reason I say that, I'll give you an example. I never used to sweat at all. I worked outdoors all the time. I was a carpenter. I could work on the roof, I could pour concrete, I could be weeding and cutting grass. I wouldn't sweat. Now, all I have to do is walk from one end of the street to the other end of the street, and I break out sweating. Okay. So bodies change, right? And different chemicals change. One of the things I want to talk to Phyllis, because I don't want her to be offensive to you, and I don't want her to say things that are embarrassing to you. That's not right. But that's the reason my first question to you is it still a problem, or is it a problem?
Well, she mentioned it on Wednesday, and then Thursday when I came in, I told her again, I said, I'm not wearing a colostomy, so let me continue.
Okay.
Okay, so, Phyllis said, I stink, so she went to the next stage of saying I stink so bad. On July the 7th,
right.
July the 7th, 2022.
That seemed to be like the beginning of the really bad talk, right?
Okay.
Just July 7th.
When she started to say stink. Then July the 9th, I clocked in at, it looks like, that's when I clocked in, and this time, cause you know, when someone says that, she don't want you to stand next to her because, and the mask, because for years she didn't wear a mask and I was wearing the lotion.
Yeah.
Okay, so I get what I'm not saying that but now a few days she hasn't worn a mask. So July the 9th, 2022, I walked in, clocked in at 9 o'clock and approximately. And this time she was smiling as she said she smelled something. And then she had caught me out around 10:05. This time, it wasn't as if, it was like a joke to her, and I was surprised because if she's smiling, then this is not good because I'm taking it seriously. I'm going the extra mile, making sure that I change my clothes before I come here because I know I walk. I've been walking since June 2016 to here, so I know I walk, and I'm taking an extra mile to walk, go in the bathroom, make sure I go over myself, change my clothes, and so forth. And now I'm doing that. And that day she was smiling as she was saying that, and then she caught me out. It's like it was a joke to her.
I'm gonna call my dad.
And this time, and then July the 4th, 14th, a customer, which is one of, so once again, you was talking about how your hormones change, but what I'm demonstrating is, I think this is a little bit odd. So July the 14th, I was working with her, and I'm pretty sure it was my schedule from 10 to 4. I had to push next to her, and everything seemed to go very well because before, I was pushing this, not pushing with her, but push the orders. I was expediting and so forth. Everything seemed to be going well, and then maybe approximately an hour and a half. Possibly, I'm not, maybe, she started to complain. A customer that, works with, that comes in with one of the other employees named Tracy. I call her a customer because as far as I know, she's not on Burger King's payroll, and she, Tracy always, they put her under my number, and I remember Paul said they lenient about that, and I wanted to ask you about that as well. They lenient about that, so if the employees want to pay for their family's food, it's okay. So a lot of times, I can't tell you how many times but many times, she comes in and Tracy said, put her food under my number, and I said, okay, just give me your number. I asked her every single time. And this time, Phyllis was standing next to me, and as a customer, she was like, Phyllis, why are you wearing a mask? And she said, because she stinks. And she was standing right next to me at the front counter. And then Phyllis earlier also was in the back saying, y'all need to hold her down. And she was just like really speaking loud about that. And then on July the 14th, that's when she said, I'm not going to leave you this Friday. I was already on the schedule to work Friday. She scratched me out and said that she's not going to leave me to work on that Friday. I hope I have the right things here. Okay, July the 19th, 2022, she force clocked me out. I came in at 9:53. This is one of the first days I really started to change my clothes.
Alright, so this is July, what was it?
Okay, so July the 15th, she removed me from the, July the 14th, she removed me from the schedule. July the 14th, 2022, that I started working on July the 15th, okay? She said on Friday she's not gonna need me. July the 19th, I clocked in at 9:53. This is when I decided to go ahead and I said I was gonna I didn't have your number or CJ's, and I said anyway, I went on ahead and came in to Burger King, and at 9:53 I had on a shirt, not Burger King uniform, and I went in the back, made sure in the bathroom, washed up, and made sure I put on my clothes were washed. Everything was washed, and it's like when you so you know, as you was talking about, you have a scent. So you know when you use certain detergents, they too have scents, and many detergents have scents. Many many shampoos have scents, and can give you a little tingling sensation in your throat. It's like for instance, today Mindy was coughing, and I said, you know what? Because the smoke came from the fire station, and I was telling her, this mask, I still wear a mask. I think one day I forgot to wear a mask. This mask helps me when that smoke just rises up from the fire station, and I'm not saying that's why you coughing, but I have coughed because of that.
Right.
And this mask helps me. So I choose to keep my mask on. I like wearing my mask. So getting back. So so I made sure I washed up July the 19th, 2022. And I went, and then when I clocked in at 9:53, 9:57, she didn't even come and give me time to even, and I had worn a new shirt and everything, not my uniform. She didn't even come. She just called me out at 9:57. She called me out. She said, you gotta go, you know, in pretty much, in reference to saying this, I can remember because I documented, but I don't have it in front of me. I can't remember she in front of me right now. She used stink or smell, but she clocked me out, and I was using Tide. To wash my clothes. The same clothing detergent I use many times. I've used before. I maybe switched up. Whether it's Arrington-Bey, Tide, Dollar Store. These all have a scent because you can tell when I come to work, and I can smell it on me. I smell the Tide or the Arrington-Bey.
I use Tide, so I know what you mean.
Before I smell my lotion, because that's how strong Tide is.
Right.
Okay, so you know, and I think any scientist can contest to that. outside is, I think it's a nice smell, but everyone might not think that way, okay? So,
There's something more to this, but that's the reason I said I want all the details so I can.
yeah, cause it, so July 23rd, 2022, so, okay, so, let me see, so, let me count them, so that was July 19th.
That was the 19th.
And then July the 20th, that's,
Alright, so the 19th, she clocked you out and you didn't get to work on the 19th?
hold on, let me make sure I got my days right. Because, I called, Burger King Court. So that, and I called Burger King Court on the same day that she called me out at 9:53.
19th.
It was the 19th, okay. Yeah, and that's when I was like, okay, now I came here, went to the bathroom, washed up, had on a new shirt. I know I use Tide. Everything I'm feeling, you know, I'm like, okay, there's no reason why she should say she smelled anything. I think, you know, I'm not using I kept reiterating, I've reiterated to her many times, I'm not using Palo Santo oil. I'm not using Palo Santo oil in coming to work. I'm not using the Palo Santo oil in coming to work. I'm not wearing the Palo Santo oil in coming to work. I'm not wearing the Palo Santo oil. I've said that many times, and I know that that's not the smell. So when she caught me out, I was like, okay, that's when I called Burger King Court, okay?
Okay, yeah. All right, now since then, what has been going on since that day? She clocked you out, you called Burger King Court. Has it gotten any better?
I mean, I was able to work through my shift and I was so happy,
But there's many days since then, this is already August 1st.
right, July the 27th, I was, okay, so going to says August the 3rd, the day is July the 27th. It's like everything was going well, we were short-handed, I think this is the day, I'm pretty sure this is the day we're really short. We had one person in the drive-through, Bills was pushing, I was doing the register, and so we were really short for a while, okay? And so we were working. I remember seeing not just that day, but Phyllis going in the dining room to clean up, you know, because we're short staff. And this is dealing with my hours. So Phyllis, she said go on break, and Miss Ellen, she said don't come back. And I said, go on break, don't come back. And she said, go on break, don't come back. And I said, why? And I think I'm pretty sure this is the day, I told her I'm not wearing a Palo Santo oil, and I didn't clock myself out because I didn't do anything wrong. It's not.
What day is this that she told you?
I think I'm pretty sure it was July 27th, 2022. And I said, don't come back. I said, this is a little bit,
Now, you said you went out in the dining room? Did she know you went out in the dining room?
no, I said, during the times we are shorthanded on the front line, many times I have seen, well, not many times, but I've seen her a few times, she herself, because of the short.
Right, she'll come out and clean the dining room.
Yes, because
Okay, here's a question, because I'm wondering if there's, did she know you left the front line? Did she tell you to come do the dining room, or did she know you were?
No, I reiterated because I didn't want, I was like, you know, I said, don't come back. I said, well.
Yeah, but you're missing my question. Is there something where you came out and you did the dining room, but she wasn't aware, and she thinks she just left the front?
No, she didn't tell me to go in the dining room. She said, go on break.
So she told you to go on
But
break.
then she said, don't come back, and don't clock back in. And I reiterated and made sure what she was saying. And she said, don't clock back in.
Right, but I'm still trying to get the sequence of how everything happened. Okay, so y'all are busy, you're all up front and everything. When you left the front to come out here, did Phyllis say to you, go on break and don't come back, or did you come out here and then go back in there that she told you? I'm trying to figure out
how the sequence, I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure how that, all I can tell you is, when she told me to go on break, okay, I'm pretty sure I did not come out and then go back in. I'm pretty sure I reiterated, I walked around the corners and I went back, I said, you said for me not to clock back out, not to clock back in. You want me not, and I reiterated because I was not going to, just walk off.
Yeah.
And, when I'm over here doing everything I can to be compliant so I can keep hours, okay? So, so I can stay and work my shift.
Because you said we were short of help and we were busy, for her to tell you clock out, don't come
No,
back.
well, okay, now, this is, okay, let me change up on that. And I think I got my, shorthanded. This is, July the 23rd, 2022. I'm gonna come back to shorthanded. July the 27th, 2022 is, I'm not saying that we were shorthanded.
Oh,
that day.
okay, July 23rd,
That's
July 23rd shorthanded.
Yes.
And everything seemed okay.
That's the day everything seemed okay. And I thought everything was okay. And, I'll go back to that day, but let me just stick with July 27th.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
July the 27th, she told me to go on break, and, I'm pretty sure this is the documentation. I was, come back and I won't, and I told her, once again, when she told me not to come back, I said, I reiterate, I'm not wearing a collar front before, but I didn't clock out.
But
So
there
she
was
clocked-
no, but she didn't say anything about smelling or anything like that, right? There was,
she has, mentioned things or mumbled things, that day, she didn't say, I don't think she said anything that day, like, right in front, like she was going before saying stink or anything like that in front of people. She just said, clock out and don't come back, and she didn't, I don't think she was saying it out loud that day, but she was saying it so many days before, so I don't think that day she was saying it out loud.
but initially she said, go on break.
And then she said,
Initially she said, go on break. And then you're saying, she said, go on break, clock out, and don't come back.
right,
Or
and that's
go on break, clock out, don't come back. I gotta,
yeah, and at first I was like, am I hearing her right? Cause I was, why is she saying that, cause that's cutting my hours. I was like,
well, the reason I keep
And
asking
she
you,
did, yeah.
if there was something else that was going on, that she got aggravated and told you that. I mean, like, I didn't know if you came out to try to help clean down tables and she didn't know you left the front to clean tables,
Oh,
or did
no.
you go off the front to go to the bathroom and she didn't know it? Or did any of those things happen that, all of a sudden would make her say something like that? Because, and I love you to death, I really do. And I haven't seen you in a long time, so I don't know if you still do it, but I know that you used to, when I was here, you used to have a habit of wandering off. Like you would always have a drink over on the side, and always wandered off and got a drink, and, you were,
Wash your hands.
or you always left to wash your hands. It's not bad, but,
Restocking.
you're always
doing
restocking, you're always doing something. And I'm just wondering if there was something that happened that triggered her to, to say what you said. And I'm not gonna say it's your fault, because it's the habit you've always done. It's, or like I said, I don't know if you still do that, but you always, when I was here, had a habit of sort of wandering off. And I even said to you while I was working here, so you can't keep doing that, and we're up front, and there's people up here, and that kind of thing. So, do you still do that, do you know?
With Phyllis, see, some managers, like Thomas, Thomas is like, he's, definitely, he tells me, he said, it's okay, Rhonda, if you need to do this, do that, do it. Jade has said that too, do what you need to do, so in that, respect, they're saying, definitely, those might say wondering, but go ahead and stop, go ahead and, because I don't have a cup of water that I just go and fill, because you have the lockers and so forth, so I'm not going around the corner, I'm drinking the water or sipping water, and usually, if I really need a drink of water, I I asked, I said, I need to take a piece of the water that's in my locker.
Yeah.
But, so some managers, like, James has said that
Yeah,
as
I
well
know.
sometimes, he like, at first I didn't understand what he meant, he like, do what you're gonna do, or do what you gotta do. And I was like, okay, but at first so in other words, he clarified that, you know, if you wanna go and do this, or if you need to, do the, stock, whatever, but what it still is different, and so what it still is.
It's different for them too on different days, because yes, everything works from days up to
Well, wait,
work.
now here's the thing.
But then there are other days you complain about, so.
Here's the thing I want you to know. It is not actually, I don't want to use the word acceptable behavior, but it's not really, a behavior of, you know, and I call it wandering off, because if you do it, and then if, you know, everybody else does it.
I
everybody else-
announce, I tell them, that's why they tell me. Otherwise,
But
I'm-
still, even if you announce or whatever, think about it, there's 5 people in front, and all 5 people are, I'm gonna go get a drink, I'm gonna go stock, I'm gonna go. Now, stocking is part of the job, and it's just using your best judgment that when's the best time to stock. I know back when, and I don't know now, you might have, you know the flow better and you can keep things going, but back in its time, when I was here, you used to have a habit of stocking when there were customers lining up, and everyone says, Rhonda, come on back. Yeah, that was years back, because I haven't been here for a couple of years. But, you know, and it takes a while for people to recognize, oh, this is not the right time to do this, or the right time to do this. So, I'm not sure exactly of what your habits are right now. And every manager allows for different things. But it's actually a behavior that is not, if you did that behavior in other businesses, they'd probably let you go. And the reason I say that is it's considered disruptive. It's one of those that, you know, if 5 people needed a drink of water every 15 minutes, they'd be constantly going off the floor, coming and going, and if, you know, and that's just like, I get crazy when people smoke, because that is absolutely, if I call James out here right now, he will tell you that I yell at him every time I see him outside smoking. You know, it's just not an acceptable behavior while you're at work. Okay? It's like somebody, I'll tell you when it's real bad. How many people are doing this all the time? Right? So the whole idea is, if we allow one person to do this, and then everybody does this, well, you're trying to make a sandwich and you're doing this, right? So the same thing, if one person is, you know, wandering, and I use the word wandering, but disappearing or doing their own thing, it's too difficult to manage everybody that does that. So right now, you've been with us long enough that everybody knows you. They all know you're working. They know how you need to manage your day and that kind of thing, and they've all worked together to do this. I'm trying to figure out what's happening with you, and Phyllis really does appreciate you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here this many years.
Let me go, I'm gonna go back, cause once again, you said, I remember that was brought up to me years ago, and so I was being very, very, very careful. Especially, I was like, some manager, I think, would say I walked away from customers, and I was like, I didn't walk away from a customer. But just a few moments ago, a black male was walking in, and, Jade, I was at the process, she said, you got a customer. And he was walking towards, but I realized, I said, oh, okay. I try to greet every customer. And if you notice that,
You're excellent.
I don't think I hear anyone else greeting customers as they open the door. But I noticed that the printer paper was not in the printer.
Right.
And I said, okay, let me grab the printer paper. I grabbed it, and as he, pretty much, he wasn't even there, not even a second, at the registers, there in front of the register. And she was like, you know, she walked up, she said, walking away from the customer. And I was like, no, I got the printer right here. I was getting ready to greet him and say, hi, thank you for choosing Burger King. It would not even have been, it would have been just like that.
You know.
Because someone left the printer machine open with no paper.
Right.
So, I went and got it real quick, and, then as, he pretty much was there, stationed, at the register, and she, was there, and she was like, and then she, was able to say you walked away from the customer.
Right.
Okay, cause you know the printing paper is like right there. I said, no, I got the printer right here, and I was getting ready to greet them, and continue.
You do a wonderful job, and, you know, it's just like everything else. I praise how you manage with customers, how you manage the fraud and things. I praise you for that. But we all know we all have our moments too, so there's these other little moments that we're, I'm a train wreck myself. One minute I'm little fishing, the next minute I'm like, you know, what happened? The reason I'm here is to try to figure out what's going on, because, a lot of things have a lot to do with self-awareness. And the reason I say self-awareness, and that's the reason I'm saying to you, I'm trying to figure out, if Phyllis all of a sudden perk out on you and start talking up for a different reason this day, these other days I gotta check about it. There's something going on for her to keep on saying to you that there's a scent or something that she's using to have you, leave or not be around. So that's one problem. This other one, having you clock out, I'm gonna try to find out if there's something else going on also. But the self-awareness part is, I want you to also be kind of self-aware of things that you do that might cause a situation. And I'm gonna ask Phyllis to be self-aware to see if she's doing things that are creating a situation. Somewhere in the middle, I'm hoping you figure out what's going on. Because this is a little crazy.
Alright, well, July 27, 2022, that day, I'm telling you, with Phyllis, so I know Phyllis, so what I've done is cut time to learn and pretty much how each manager.
What they want.
Right,
Yeah.
and so I know Phyllis does not want me
Yeah.
to leave the front line, unless she tells me a lot of times, okay?
Exactly.
Now, sometimes, she's like, I don't care what you do. Like if I say, Phyllis, I'm going to go get the cups, because we only have our partners. You only have like a few partners left.
Right.
And sometimes she just say, I don't care what you do, and I'm like, okay, so.
That's a rude response.
But usually I stand there, and I just stand there and just do, if someone takes over, like James said that he was saying that I shouldn't call back the meals, and when a customer places the order, I shouldn't call back and just go, all that talking. I was trying to go really, really fast with the orders, and then he was saying that I'm taking too long, or implying that I'm taking too long, and I'm pretty sure I'm looking at the time, I'm getting these orders out, but I listened, and I just said, okay, in my thoughts. I didn't agree, because I know I wasn't having like long conversation, unless the customer is, a lot of times, some customers are elderly, or they just might have other problems going on, whatever, and they take their time up. I think I won, I'm not sure.
And you're being patient with them.
Right, because if I start rushing them, then I get the order wrong, and then that's different. But what I've done is try to figure out how each manager wants the shift to go. I know Thomas, he, when I work with him, he's like, I go in the drive-through, make the drinks. He expects for me to, if there's cartons that need to get from the back, he wants me to go back there and get them. It's not so much me telling him I'm going to, because I've done that.
He appreciates that you use your brain and that you know how to schedule out when it's slow to go take care of things and stop. I'm a person that is pretty much like that, and I've always tried to get Thomas, James, and Phyllis, and all of us. I'm trying to get everybody to understand, to help lift everybody up so that everybody can use their own, judgment. In the beginning, you had a hard time knowing when the right flow was to go do things. You've been here long enough that I'm assuming it's gotten so much better that you wouldn't just walk away in the middle of a customer, in the middle of a order. I will tell you, way back, there was a time you did that. And you probably don't remember, but there was a time, and I gotta laugh, because that's how much we all mature and change. Because when you very first began, you'd start an order, and then all of a sudden it occurred to you to go do something, and they'd be waiting to finish giving you the order, and you go do it. Well, you're beyond that. You have the ability to make decisions and how to, the right time to flow away from the register, the right time to sort of slow down,
I
take it in
remember.
order, and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
You're
when-
doing wonderful.
When a customer would when we were shorthanded, I remember a lot of times when we were shorthanded and the customer was getting a credit card and they ordered a frozen drink, or I would, while they're inserting their card, I would run and go and make the frozen drink, especially if we were shorthanded. But
Right.
that's when I realized the managers were saying that possibly I was walking away from the customer, and I wasn't. If I would tell the customer each and every time, I was like, I'll be right back, I'm gonna go get your frozen drink. But we were shorthanded, so I'm trying to multitask. But I realized the managers were saying that was part of the reason they were saying that I was walking away from the customer, even though I definitely addressed the customers and said, and they were like, okay, it's no problem, okay, no problem. So because I knew we were,
But you can see what happens.
yeah, so
how
I
everybody's
stopped doing it.
Because, and again, if you do it, and then if the other girl in the other register does it, and then it becomes a little chaotic.
Right, so I stopped doing it. I said, even though we show them a finish, make sure the customer finish the ticket, and then or finish putting the card in,
Yeah.
and make sure, and then I give them the ticket, and then I go do the drink, even if we're shorthanded.
Right.
Because that's what I connected with. I was like, okay,
And that's the flow of business and the flow of people.
and I'm gonna give you an example for with the Hershey Sunny Pies. Okay, I think this is so Thomas said put the expiration dates on every single Hershey Sunny Pie.
Correct.
Still, someone is not. One of the managers are still because I come in, they put it at the end of the tray, one at the end of the tray. So some managers still want to put one expiration date at the end of the tray, and another manager, when they work, they want,
And that's our fault because of the inconsistency. Because, CJ, what is the rule now for where to date Hershey pies?
CJ's not there.
Oh, I thought- Oh, I gotta find it. Because way back when, there actually was even stickers. And you put a sticker on every single Hershey pie that had a date. Then they started putting the date on the tray, which is kind of silly because how do you know how long this pie, you might have a tray that has a date today, but they were put on there 2 days ago. So that's our fault for improper training. So you're saying something that it causes confusion?
Right,
and it's
it
a
was,
bar?
actually, I just was trying to go with, I said, okay, I know Thomas, he wants the expiration dates on each and every pie. So when I work with Thomas and he says, we need pies, I put the expiration date on each and every pie. When I don't work with Thomas, and maybe Phyllis, because Phyllis, I noticed when she's working, that's when the expiration date, or maybe Jane, or that's possibly when the expiration date's at the end of the tray. Because Thomas is the one that specified, I would do it different and put the expiration date. So what I'm trying to say is, I try to do what
The
managers want, even though it might be conflicting with one another, what they might say. Okay, and for another thing, for example, now that now we're talking about this, because for example, there's a customer, okay, just maybe a week and a half ago, Phyllis told me it's okay, his name is Mr. Parker, said it's okay to go ahead and charge him for a small and give him a medium, okay? But I clarified before, because before.
Because Phyllis is telling you this, but maybe if Thomas is here, he doesn't know
Right,
that.
because that has happened before,
Right.
when COVID-19 first started. And Phyllis, because he was getting upset because I would not give him a medium cup when he paid for a senior. And then he started make comments that he didn't want me to take this order. And
Was it
so-
Mr. Parker?
It was Mr. Parker. And so, and he started making comments that he didn't want me to take this order. And that's when I spoke to Carl, and I spoke, and Carl said, Thomas is right at that time, okay?
Right. He was right.
Okay, because he, Mr. Parker would be charged like for senior, but, he was getting, I wouldn't give it to him, but he was giving a medium. But then I clarified with Phyllis, and Phyllis said it's okay, but Carl said it's not. Thomas said it wasn't. He said just pay for the cup, just pay for the cup. So now, but then I think Mr. Parker, I'm not sure, but he was not coming here for a little while. Then he came back, and he wanted a medium cup instead of even though we charged him for a small. Now when I think his family members would come in here, or somebody,
pick up food for
or somebody that knew him, I'm not sure, would pick up food for him, and, we were giving him a medium cup and charging a medium. And I think, and I remember, I think it was Mindy I said that if I was like trying to understand, said when he started to come back into the store, said, well, if he's here, he wants a small because he gets free refills.
Right.
And I said, okay. So now charging him back a small. So when the food was going out to him, that's why he went to a medium. But then he started wanting a medium and being charged a small again. Okay, and so and when he was complaining, and he was like, I want you to, everybody was giving him a medium, like, oh, I should say, it's not everybody, but there was others that were giving him a medium, like, Phyllis and Mindy, and, he was like, when he pointed to me, he was like, I want you to give me a medium, and I was like, I didn't say anything, I think Phyllis walked away, but then he came back, and maybe a week and a half ago from today, I did, Minnie clarified with Phyllis that it's okay to charge him for a small and give him a medium. And I said, well, I told him, I said, if the manager says okay, cause it's okay with me. Even on one of the days where he wanted me to give him a medium, I don't know what happened, but, he spilled some stuff over here, cause he was definitely upset and angry.
Mr. Parker's gone.
Oh,
He has cancer.
Oh.
He's healing. He's not gonna.
okay. Well, so he made a mess. So not to make a long story short, I told him, I said, I said, the manager says okay. If Phyllis says okay, it's okay with me. So Phyllis says it's okay, so I gave him the medium cup and I charged him a small. So, but
Here's the thing. I understand how confusing it is. One manager says okay, one manager does something different, one manager, wants a different way and all kinds of stuff. Very confusing. That's our fault. That's bad management. I'm not gonna lie to you. 3 managers should be doing the same thing with the same rules, and it shouldn't be confusing. But it's different for them. They've been here way too long. Bill's been here for 40 years, Tom's been here for 20 years, Jenny's been here, I don't know how long, 20 years. So it's like their home, like you've got rules, but you kind of ease up because you've been here so long and you know so many people. There's been customers that have been here for just forever. I mean, I've been here 45 years, and some customers, and Phyllis has been here as long as I have, and maybe even longer. She worked for Burger King before I came to Burger King. So she knows so many people around here, and she tries to treat some of her regular customers a little special. And some of them she knows are a little special. And Mr. Parker's a very special person to me. In that he's a nice person. He's grumpy, he's grouchy, but he's a nice person. What I'm trying to share with you is, I know it's difficult on you to figure out what's inside all their heads and why they're being nice to one person and the other one isn't or whatever. But here's one way that makes it easier on you is well, no, you're a very serious person.
well, I wasn't.
You're very-
It wasn't. I mean,
Well, no, let me share with you. You're a very serious person, right? And if somebody, and Phyllis will get mad, if there's somebody that's trying to get something that shouldn't, she'll tell him, no, you're not gonna, I don't know you. But if somebody's trying to, how are you? Is that for me? Okay, should I give you a receipt? You okay? No receipt, or you want a receipt? You need a receipt, okay. I'm sorry. The big one is, if you can learn to have just the tiniest little sense of lightness, you're very, very, very serious. But if somebody says, I want a medium and I'm paying for it, just say, are you gonna get me in trouble? I've gotta go ask the manager, unless you know it's okay. And just say, I'm not gonna lose my job for this, let me go ask if it's okay. Then ask the manager, take it off your shoulders.
yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
But see, once again, I mean, I was just using, I knew Phyllis had been here for a long go to the personal level where they hang out after work and so forth. So what I try to do is, because I don't know who they know, and I don't know them personally in that manner, because I never hung out with them. But I try to make sure my boundaries are not crossed.
Exactly.
Right, where my customer service doesn't cross to the next level where one of those that know them maybe find me attractive or want to have more of a longer conversation than usual. And because they know them personally, they get upset and make a complaint or there's some type of issue going on because of that. Because once again, I don't know the managers personally. I assume because they've been here for a while that those that come in here, especially if they're having conversations with them, they probably know them personally. Especially if they're talking loud about certain things, they might know them personally. But that should not infringe on me.
Exactly.
Going beyond, especially if some of them that know them personally maybe feel offended if I don't take the next step and try to get to know them personally. Like for example, when I was trying to figure out what was going on between Phyllis and I, in reference to why she didn't want me to stand next to her, and sometimes in do fries, and because of that, she bringing up the smell now, it's easy as someone wanted to say, well, that's probably why. But I asked Phyllis, I said, because I remember my hours had been cut, and I asked her, and I was wondering, I kept asking her, what is it, what can I do? It was suggested that I do this to make her day better. What am I not doing? I think Paul was the one that suggested this. And she told me I'm not having conversations. And I was like, I'm not having conversations. I was like, I have conversations with,
You have changed a lot, and what's happened, and I'm going to share with you. You remember the first time I asked you a question?
it's been years since we've been out here.
That's because I said you've evolved, you've changed a lot. You're not as suspicious or the first thing you said to me was you were studying, and it had to do with the Constitution. And I said, oh, are you studying for a test? Do you even know what you said to me?
That was a long time ago, obviously, but you can,
You said, it's none of your business.
oh no, I would not say
Oh,
that.
yes, you did, because what happened is, everybody that overheard it, that was the first time.
I said none of your
You
business
said-
to the owner of
You
Burger
did,
King.
and then you said, and it doesn't matter because you wouldn't understand it anyway.
Oh,
That
are
is
you sure?
Word for word.
Okay, you have a reporter. I gotta hear that.
That's
because
what I'm telling you.
I did not, I know I wouldn't say that to you.
You have evolved so much.
No, I would not have done that, said that to you, because I remember when I first started working here, I was wearing my national headdress.
Hold on,
And-
watch. Hey, Carl,
Yes, ma'am.
remember when Rhonda very, very first began many years ago, and I said she was studying something, and I asked her what was she studying? Do you remember what I told you she said to me? Because you weren't here. Phyllis or not. She said, none of your business.
Well, I know one time I asked her a question, that was the response I got, but that was way back when you
No,
first,
that's the reason I said.
that was
I
way back when you first
See,
started.
Never
what happened was
said
I was
that.
trying to let
I
her
would
see
not-
how far she's evolved.
I would have never said that to the owners of the store.
Oh.
In fact, you told me when you used to let me wear my national headdress, and I told you my nationality was Moorish. We had a conversation. I told you I'm Moorish American, and
Right.
you said you consider yourself Chinese American. And
Right.
so that opened the door because I was so happy that you allowed me to wear my national headdress.
Right.
For, and I think it was maybe 2 or 3 months. So I would
Yeah.
not have
It
ever said such things to you like that.
When you very first began, when I say you've evolved, I mean, you really have
That's
no
when we
idea.
first started. And we actually, I remember, because I think you were either sitting here or sitting there. And this is when I first started working. So I don't think I would say such things in that manner to you. But when I'm getting at,
Yeah, but the reason I share that with you is because there's so many things that over a course of time that people have, everybody has boundaries, and then as we all get to know each other, our boundaries get shifted and changed a little bit. And because the reason I bring that up, in the very beginning, you completely blocked all of us out. There was no conversation, there was no talking to you.
I know stuff about, people because I had conversation. For instance,
Now,
Diamond.
no, that's what I'm saying.
No, Diamond haven't worked here for years.
Uh-huh.
And the reason why I know this about Diamond, because I had a conversation with her. She said she did taxes on the side. And I remember, when she started working for Hardee's, she was saying that her mother, taught her to, be very smart. And something, I think she said she grew up somewhere, her mother taught her to, be very, very smart and articulate. So when I'm trying to, I haven't worked with Donna for years, so just me knowing that she did taxes on the side, at least that's what she said. Now,
She was.
okay, that shows that I had conversation, when we had the basic conversation.
Exactly.
Let me go back even further with, let me see, who else, that I had a conversation. I know where certain people are from because I had a conversation with them. I would ask them, where you from? And they would say, I'm from Guatemala, I'm from El Salvador, I'm from Mexico. Or my parents are from Mexico, but I was born here, so forth. So,
That's what's so wonderful. Literally.
So I had conversations, but what I'm getting at is, when I knew, I knew that some of the customers that came in here knew Thomas, knew James, knew Phyllis on a personal level because they would have conversations. But when if a customer know them, and just so happen because they having a personal relationship together, have had for years,
Right.
but they want to have a personal relationship with me, and I'm just keeping it customer service business. I shouldn't be, I shouldn't have issues with my managers because of that.
Correct.
And because I know, because Phyllis said the reason why my hours were cut, because I'm not having conversations, and then I tried to explain to her, I said, I have conversations with people all the time, that basic conversations, but even with customers,
I would
basic.
have to ask you to expand on that, because the concept that you're not having a conversation.
Aquí esperando la prensa que me va a dar.
A long time ago, the idea of you not having conversations
Sí, yo
was
voy a
a huge issue, but it's, I don't know, I don't work with you that much, I don't think it's that bad with you. Before, when you very first began, you were pretty abrupt, you were pretty rude, you were pretty, everything else. And as you got more comfortable, like you said, you learned that nobody was here to, I'm gonna share another one, and I bet you don't even know. There was a group that was watching. We tried to approach you, not for you, some help. And again, you told us to mind your.
I would never say that, 'cause I didn't know you didn't know if, I thought that I didn't have a place to live.
I just want to be
so,
sure.
Why would that have,
Well,
I'm
we
just
did
saying, when did
totally
this happen?
different.
This
What-
was way back when you very first
So
came
you
here.
said it was a group, so can you tell me some of the people that,
Phyllis, CJ.
Phyllis, CJ, all y'all came and talked to me?
No,
and
I did,
And you
and they
came and
they
talked to
asked
me,
me to
and
see
you-
if there was something I could do to help find you a place.
And you came and talked to me?
And you sent me away, telling me to mind my own business.
I do not recall such things.
I know, that's what I'm trying to-
ever happening because,
You were so different then than you are now.
I don't, no, it's not, I'm telling you that this never, happened as in you coming to ask me and, no, I don't think so, Janelle.
Okay.
Yeah, cause,
Okay.
I mean, the most, the conversation before, one of the major conversations we had a lot of time, I remember you came in with your haircut, and I said, oh, I like your hair, Chinese bob, but one of the major was with my national headdress. And, you told me you got so many complaints of me wearing my national headdress.
That's what I had to ask you.
You were, and I said, no problem, and I remember because the guy Charlie was coming in here and he was like, he, said, tell her not to touch my hand anymore, and I said, okay, and that's when I told you that Charlie said, don't touch his hand no more, that's not, you didn't think I was trying to be funny and not touch his hand. And that same day, you told me, that, the customers were complaining about my national headdress, and I said, no problem, I won't wear it no more. But,
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that it's way past. And it's just that, I think it's wonderful how you, like you said, you do have conversation. People here do appreciate you. But you still are quirky, just like everybody else is quirky. And we all have to own up to our quirkiness, and that's the reason I'm just sort of
mentioned how much different he's become. But so many people remember works and they're trying to figure out, well, do we stay away or do we try to talk to her or whatever, and
Basic conversations, but not crossing boundaries on personal things, like, if you, talking, reference to, like really personal issues, like July the 7th, 2022, when Phyllis was saying I stink loud, Parker, which I've heard him say things before, in manner before he was, I guess you say he's buying that, but, when I was going out to, clean the bathroom, which I've heard guests that come in and say brother a lot. And when I was coming out, he was saying, that's your brother loud. And I've heard Phyllis say brother too. So, once again, there's, if they have different connections with different customers through years, I understand that, but that shouldn't have anything to do with me, because especially when I'm trying to do my best. So if I learn that this manager prefers me to not leave the front line or do certain things a certain way, and I comply with that, or he or she tells me to do something, even though the other manager might say something different, and I'm trying to be compliant, I'm trying to do whatever I can, and the manager still, and the manager still seems to have an issue, and some of the times the issue, too many of the times the issue, is possibly when some of them might come in here that know them personally. That could be a problem, because that's crossing boundaries, and I don't know if that, and I'm only telling you it has happened times.
sure.
That I know I'm having conversations, but I know information about people at the store that you can only have a conversation with to know.
Right.
And I've also disclosed information about myself in reference to that they will only know possibly unless they did some background check and created a lie about it or whatever. But unless I told them, and I'm pretty sure I would be able to verify if I told them or not. So I mean, I had a conversation.
I know.
Janelle.
I understand.
And I definitely would not disrespect you and Carl like that. I'm not mentally ill.
Well, I will tell you that I could probably bring in a dozen people that you said it to. And it would,
Now, if it's someone that I don't know, that's not connected to Burger King in a manner, in reference to, employment, possibly, but if it's someone, if I'm at my job, and I know it's you, and I know it's Carl, and you ask me something about, I would definitely speak
Well, you
about
just heard Carl on separate occasions that you had told him that it was business. You did hear him say that, right?
But I disagree, I didn't say
I
that.
know, so that's two separate. This will be interesting. Hey, CJ,
I didn't say that.
no, I think it's interesting because we do, time passes. I was trying to share with Rhonda. Oh, he's on the
Go ahead,
phone,
what?
sorry.
What?
Huh?
What?
Just how much more engaging she's become, and that how many years when she very first got here, that basically her typical response, well, do you remember what she said to me when I came here and I said, she was studying a book and I asked her what was she studying?
Oh, yeah.
And she told me it was,
I don't remember the name, but.
no, she basically said it's none of my business.
Right.
And has she ever told you, when you've asked the question before, that it was
I
weird?
didn't ask her that.
She knew not to ask you that.
Right.
See, I'm telling you, you have evolved, you, like you said, you engage in conversation. You still have a lot of boundaries, because we talk a lot. Everybody talks a lot, and like you said, when people, hey bro, hey sister, you find that kind of offensive, you find that it's too personal and that kind of thing. But that's the reason I'm saying.
Used to be very much.
You used to be,
Not really so much anymore.
You've used it a whole lot. I actually have some notes that you sent me that you thought were offensive because customers or Thomas or somebody would use words that you thought were bad.
F-U-C-K.
Well,
Not
no,
those
that's
at all.
not that at all. What was, I can't remember, there was something that was along the line like bro or something like
We
that.
went through Bay,
Mo,
Bay, I think there were some.
No, it was Mo, and I don't,
No, there were multiple different
Mo
kinds.
and Bay, and yeah, I spoke to Carl about it, and, because I felt like after, once again, in reference to professionality, Now, if you have a relationship with a fellow employee and y'all saying they F-U-C-K to one another, cause Thomas said you can't tell me what to say out my mouth. I told him, I said, just, can you not curse me in front of the customers?
He
Can you
shouldn't
communicate
curse you at all,
Okay,
period,
curse
okay?
me, right, curse me at all, I said that. So, now, and so that so I remember having a conversation with Carl, and then Carl brought, Thomas in. And, he still, and I said, you know, and even the nationality did come up, and I remember, Thomas was like, something about, she thinks she's better than everybody else, or so what's that nationality, and I was like, okay.
That's a general feeling of a
yeah.
lot of people here, they think you better than everybody else.
Okay, I don't, I think I think that's, like, why would they think I think I'm better than everyone else?
Well, remember I said, one of the first things I asked you, and I was trying to be nice, is, you know, what are you reading, what are you studying, are you studying for, and you told me that I probably wouldn't understand it anyway.
No, I did not, no, I did not say that, I know I wouldn't have said that to you. And I remember,
I have to laugh.
I remember a couple of times, when, I think it was Khalid Muhammad, when he was rude and,
Yeah.
some other things that came up, and, maybe I sort of cut him off because he would curse
Yeah.
and be rude and aggressive. And, then I'm trying to keep a professional atmosphere for
Right.
myself, because, so that's, so I don't know, if, I don't know why would they think I'm better. You know, if they wanna curse on the front line, if they wanna curse
And
and speak to one
Totally
another,
unacceptable.
if they, I try my best to not use, F-U-C-K, B-I-T-C-H, I try my best to not curse, definitely not at my job and in front of customers. And, when the communication starts to go that route, and I choose to
step away.
So I don't know why they would think I think I'm better than they are.
It isn't just as, there's some things that you, like I said, in your history, it's been in your history. You know, like, you know that idea of, I didn't say anything when, you said, Mr. Charlie said, I don't want her to touch me. That's because, do you know what you use? I don't know if you still do it. And it was, we only very lightly talked to you about it because we knew that it was something that was bothering you. But whenever you gave people change back, you would,
After we interview on the spot, I'll be able to.
Actually, I would make sure I put it like that, or put it in, and then what I started to do is put it like this, and cause sometimes
you did later, you did.
Yeah, no, I did it before, and and some of their hands would be dirty with, paint, and then a lot of things and I knew the customers were complaining about it.
let me go to the very beginning. The very beginning was,
I'm not saying they're all gonna show up.
you would slide their change and leave it on the counter, and then we asked you.
Like they changed, leave it on the counter.
Oh yeah, you would just slide it. You didn't want, if they held their hand out, you would put it on the counter. You don't remember that?
I would have to see it.
Yeah,
Well, I would definitely have to see you doing that.
Yeah, that was your very
I
first
don't remember,
round.
I definitely don't remember doing, unless the customer specifically said, don't touch my hand like Charlie did. And he said, don't touch my hand no more, and so I would definitely put everything on the counter for him.
The reason Charlie didn't want you to, because in the very beginning, he did, Mr. Parker did, there was a whole bunch of customers, and I even had customers that weren't normal, that we don't normally see, that would write it. I could probably dig out some old complaints, where they would hold their hand out for you to give them a change, and you put it on the counter. And well then, because then we came to you, and we said, could you please put the change in your hand when they hold their hand out?
Actually, I don't remember you ever coming to me, but I remember,
Well, it's been one of my people.
Diamond said, one time, but it was a lot of other stuff that went on that day. It wasn't about that. It was a lot of other stuff that went on about being afraid or something like that. And I was like, being afraid? I said, I'm not afraid. I said, the customer, so it was totally,
It was
Yeah.
all kind of interrelated, but what I'm just trying to share with you, you have completely come around, and I guess I'm trying to say, I see what you're trying to, you know, see what's necessary and take action and fix it, and, you know, alter what's necessary to try to get everybody, you know, so we all get along. I see it, and I appreciate it, that's all I'm trying to tell you. And the thing is, you don't even realize how much you yourself have adapted to try to get, so we all get along. You know, you have adapted a lot. Now, it's one of those where, whether you think it's good or bad, I don't know, but it's been nice. You've just become a nicer person. I'm gonna use the word nicer, but a more receiving kind of person. And, you know, I'm not overlooking it. I'm gonna go into this, and I'm gonna follow up with this, and I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna talk to Phyllis about it and find out what's going on. But, I mean, from what I gather, it's all up to July 27th, 28th.
Yeah.
And from there, it's just August, so we kind of like, it's died a little bit, but you're not getting all your hours?
Well, I worked all day today, was the day the 3rd, yesterday, was the 2nd, worked all the way through the end, you know. Saturday, what did I work on Saturday? I went 9 to 4 Saturday.
Saturday and Sunday, we did Thomas, we still stuff work Saturday and Sunday.
Well, some Saturdays she worked, because, yeah, one of these days was on Saturday, excuse me. One of these, definitely some Saturdays she worked.
It's been a while, Phyllis has been trying to get her up.
Some Saturdays.
She's needed Saturdays and Sundays, I think, all summer for her grandson or something.
Well, she definitely worked on Saturdays, because some of the Saturday was 9 to 4. And I think also the day that electricity went out, that was on Saturday as well, and I cleaned the, store with her. But July the 23rd, 2022, it was 10 to 4, James clocked me out, without a reason.
James did?
Yeah, James did. He just clocked me out. I mean, I asked him, a lot of times James, he would just,
So
early.
July 23rd was Saturday.
Okay, July 23rd was Saturday. That's what I have. So that cannot be July. Okay, I might have the state wrong, because it would have been at 10 to 4. So I need to go back and check before I say that.
Is James here today? Carl, is James here right now?
What?
Is James here right now?
Yes.
I want him here right now.
What?
But just for a second. I'll get to the bottom of why he's done it. I have to take Phyllis privately, and I'll talk to her, you know, and then I'll come back to you about it.
Okay.
Okay? But, yeah, right now, I can't say what's on there, but I will tell you whatever you're wearing, my eyes are burning. And it's not, I'm trying to, it's almost like, not ginger, that's what I'm saying, citrus or ginger. And it doesn't smell bad, it's just, because I wear a lot of
You will be seeing more of me later.
Do I need to?
I need it. For my rent. I moved to 12.
Oh, okay, so you'll have hours to give.
I need this, yeah.
Come on, we'll give them to you.
Cause my rent is like 1 something.
Okay,
So I,
you talk to CJ, can you do Saturdays, Sundays, and all that good stuff? You have to.
I'm on Sundays.
I got you, I know.
I already got Sundays.
I know.
I had Sundays.
There was a day that, was it only one day?
Now, this happens before many times, with
That you
sometimes,
just clock her out randomly?
No, I don't clock her out. I ask her to clock out because I have customers that need to get taken care of, and she's wandering around in the back of the kitchen.
Alright, so.
And I have to,
Alright, but see, she doesn't understand what's
no,
going
I'm
on.
telling her exactly,
You've told her before, you
Yes,
sat
ma'am.
down with her like I am
yes
right now.
ma'am, yes ma'am.
Is that true?
I'll give
No,
it,
I'll see
okay.
y'all later.
The
Alright,
last
I'll talk to
time
you.
there was an issue about clocking out, he said clock out. I'm pretty sure I remember. I worked with Phyllis. This is the day we were shorthanded. In fact, this is the day that we were busy. We were shorthanded. This is the day, and I just have to, I don't have the date right. This is the day where we were going very shorthanded on the front line. When you came in, and I remember I was working very, very hard that day. because we're short-handed, and then, when you came in and you were standing next to Phyllis, and, you were saying clock out, and I didn't clock out, and, because I was like, why clock me out? But I have to double check it. So sometimes he say clock out, and then I tell him, I said, there's a lot of stuff I can do. When he come in, I said, that's, if you need me, but I'm not wandering around, because sometimes he tells me, he says, what I want you to do is to do what you want to do. At first, and I told him, I said, James, you said do what you want to do.
And I explained myself as far.
One
But
time,
I've told you a lot of times, do what you wanna do, or do
She
what you
didn't
think is
understand,
right.
that's why I took, you're right.
Very explicit, I
And
need
that's-
you, it should be, I need you to do this, and
Right,
whatever, I
that's
need you
why-
to stock this, I
Yes,
need you
ma'am.
to clean this, I
Yes.
need you to do what you wanna do, or do
No.
what you need to do. That
Okay.
opens the door for
Okay.
confusion.
Which
Do
is
what
does.
you do.
Okay,
Do what
now,
you
I
do.
did say that to her once, she did not understand what I meant, so I took my time to explain to her what I needed her to do.
Right.
And I
So-
stopped saying that because she did not understand what I was saying.
Here's the thing,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's kind of interesting. Remember I said that interpretation of wandering around or whatever? What's the first thing he said when I said, James, I hear you randomly clocked her out? What's the very first thing he said?
wondering, and then,
Wandered, and I had talked to her, because I haven't been here in a long time.
because I tried to tell him before I do anything, and the response was do, and so, like, and then, so that's, he's one of the managers that operate a little bit different than Phil, so that's, but sometimes if you don't want me to talk to you, you say, you respond in that manner, do what you want, do what you do.
But apparently that happened after he already said clock out, so he got frustrated, said clock out, and
This
then,
particular day,
well, we're talking about a generalization.
we weren't.
Okay, go ahead.
He just, I was like, why is he telling me to clock out? Because he had said, sometimes he said, I just stand there not doing nothing.
The reason
We're on
why-
my shift, you
Okay.
gonna work.
Short and
And like,
sweet.
so how I'm
So that's
gonna,
not-
be
I'm
wandering
gonna
around
talk.
trying to stop. And then on the other hand, he's saying that I'm not working, I'm just standing there doing nothing. So, and it, you know, so.
But that's, see what's happening?
Okay, now, here's where I have a problem tonight. You're at, okay, you see customers coming in the door and you walk away.
See how they're seeing it
Okay.
and how you're seeing it? That's the reason.
We're
I said
standing here
it.
back and forth, when I hear the bell, I have a tendency to look at the door. She's standing at the register, and the customer gets closer, she walks away.
So those are the things
And
that
that's when I
other,
have to say
and
something.
that's what I said, I've gotta talk to Phyllis and find out
Mhm.
if, because when you told me, she told you to go on break and don't come back or don't clock back, there's something that.
Okay, I was here that day.
Oh, okay, what happened?
Okay, she took a, it was a late break,
Okay.
to where it's at 30 minutes would have ended her day.
Oh, okay.
That's all it was.
No, that was not, that was
It-
not,
okay,
that was not the
here-
day.
here you
That
go.
was not the day.
Well, we
Janelle,
can figure- I can
okay,
figure
hold
out
on,
the date.
hold on, like I said, I was here.
Okay, and I
The
had my
difference-
time sheets.
Excuse me.
Okay.
The difference in time, 10 to 12 minutes.
I had my time sheets.
Okay.
All right, we'll figure it out.
I'm just saying,
Okay,
like I said,
and I had
that's
my
what
time
it
sheet,
was.
that is not what happened.
Okay,
Okay, but here's the thing.
I'm listening.
She's right now, she's struggling not understanding why she's getting clocked out. She's struggling not understanding why, Phyllis is having some
Okay.
issues too. and
Okay,
gotta
I
talk-
can't speak for Phyllis, but I can speak for myself. I take the time to explain. I'll give you an example. I'm gonna use today, okay? She's saying that she's bringing orders, okay? I'm not gonna say she's doing anything wrong, but she's dragging it on too long,
Well,
okay?
you mean talking to the customer?
Yes.
Some of this,
Okay.
we're gonna have to be a little allowing that
That's-
she knows how to do a good customer service,
Right,
okay?
okay, I'm not
But-
disputing that.
Right,
That's-
but if we're
go ahead.
busy and we're
Yes.
backing up, what we need to do is find a way of just saying, hey Rhonda, we're getting busy. That's all we need to say, hey Rhonda, we're getting busy. So
Okay.
she knows that,
This is-
but
go
sometimes,
ahead.
you know, I know how I am. I talk to customers and I hold things up.
Mhm.
You know, sometimes
you know, when she's giving what I think is good customer service, it is hard to keep things moving, but we sometimes have to share with each other, hey, we're getting busy, which then helps her
Okay.
get the customer to bump a little bit,
Did-
don't get critical.
No, this is what I did today. I said, Ronnie, can you please slide over? So I rang some orders. She watched. We cleared everybody out. And then I said to her, Ronnie, you understand what I just did? When they ask for a sandwich, is it a meal? You find out. Then you do the suggestion yourself. Small, medium, or large. Is it cheese? Now, same token, I got all that in.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the one thing, you do wonderful service, you just have to like, sort of guide yourself how you can like sometimes make it a little bit quicker when you see a line forming or if there's something, because when you have time, it's wonderful.
Right.
On the other hand, if you all of a sudden see a line forming, you might have to find a way of like abbreviating and shortcutting how you find, because I'm real quick, sometimes people have to tell me that I've got to slow down, and I used to, you know, I have, you know, would you like a small, medium, large, with cheese and bacon on that? I mean, I'm just like, you are very polite, you give them time to hear you and think, and that's not bad, it's not bad. But we have to figure out when to adjust when we're busy. And, you know, you'll see your line forming or whatever, you just have to learn to adjust some. I'm just asking that you find ways of sharing with them the different
Well,
ways.
that's why, like I said, all day, I took the time very patiently and explained myself. As we cleared everybody out, I took the time so she could fully understand.
But, you
Instead
know,
of saying something stupid like I did before, do what you did.
right, do what
Okay,
you do is not even a
that
simple
work.
answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I'm gonna tell you, the other one I want to defend also is,
Okay.
you know, we share that the profanity that takes place in here, I've got to have a talk. This is not anything you can tell me, just something I
Right.
got to have a talk with Dave, some of the nonsense going on. So, yes, there's things that I am aware of, things that have to be taken care of. and fixed. What we have to do is figure out how to work it out together. And like I said, James has to watch after you as well as watch after everybody, all the other people here. And sometimes it might seem abrupt and harsh and,
Not
you know,
concrete.
but I do expect him to come back later and say, hey, I'm really sorry, but we have to get it going faster. If you do get offensive though, that's not acceptable, and you do have to apologize.
Yeah, but I have no problem with it. I have no problem.
But I'm just
That's no problem.
trying to share with you that
Right.
there's a lot of things going on in everybody's heads. It's all different things that might not make it right, but it's happening, and things happen at that time that we have to back them and sometimes apologize, rewind, fix it, whatever.
Right.
The clocking out without a reasonable explanation is not acceptable.
Okay.
I mean, that is just not acceptable.
I agree with what you're saying. This is why I talk. I try to talk slow, not fast, so she fully understands what's going on. Ronnie, can you please say up the front? I got a customer coming in the door. Can you say up front, push you? I'm telling her exactly
Right,
what
but
I
at the
need
same
at the
token,
moment.
you know, also let her know what's rolling through your head, that you've got consequences, like, Rhonda, if you don't stay up front here, I'm gonna ask you to clock out. You know, or Rhonda, I need you to pay more attention up here, because if I have to be up here, then you might as well go home. I mean, for her to sit here and say she doesn't have a clue why you told her to clock out.
That's not-
No, I just want you to understand.
Okay, let me listen.
The
So to speak.
explanation
Right,
has to go along with what's going on and
Okay.
taking place.
okay.
And it can't be after it's too late.
No,
It isn't that you clocked her out and just said, okay, you've been wandering around, out of here.
no.
Let her know what's going on
That's
and
what-
what could happen if it
Mhm.
continues.
Okay. And
Right?
she,
And then she can defend herself on it or not defend herself on it, or she can take action and say, I got it, I'm here.
there is times where I said it ahead of time, and she had did what I asked. There are other times to where she was like, I don't know, whether she's ignoring me, or I don't
She
know.
might not even know what it is that you meant or needed
No,
or
she-
need. You guys are all very confused. We were
This is-
talking about it.
this is true.
You know,
Now,
there's like
I-
things you want that Thomas doesn't want, things Thomas wants that Phyllis doesn't want, and it
Yeah,
goes
we're
around.
different.
And
Yeah.
the crew is like, what?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Right. This is why with Rhonda, I'm explaining to her exactly what I need her to do.
That's what makes a big difference. in you
Because
being
what
a
I've come to
manager.
find out, if I don't do it that way, I'm not gonna get the response that I need.
But here, the title is manager, and
Yes,
manager
ma'am.
is managing, so everybody understands
And
and
what they
people
need to be
they
doing.
need to be doing.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Yeah, real simple. Mhm.
so the explanation, do you understand why he said he clocked you?
No, not the last time I asked him. I kept asking, he wouldn't, he did not respond.
All right, but I mean, at this moment, it's the reason he gave.
But, I don't know if that's the reason that day, but all I can say is that, whatever when he speaks, and I know when he's telling me something, I try to do what he tells me to do, but, I mean, I even try my best not to even
Well, I
leave the
was-
floor unless I get an okay from him. I think I did this, I think it was, a few days ago, I think it was Saturday, I'm not sure, and I, actually, after I got to clean the, dining room and everything, I had clocked out, so whoops, I forgot to tell James, and I mean, that's the respect that I try to give, managers, I try to.
Actually, every one of our
Well, okay.
employees are supposed to
This
tell
is-
me.
Okay,
Okay.
so I
This
mean,
is
I
what
try
I
my
will say.
best to, try to do what he asked, Thomas asked, Phyllis, I try, I mean, and so when it gets to a point where, my hours are, where I'm being clocked out or saying clock out, and then it's to a point where there's, I'm asking why, and there's no reason in response, it's like, okay, and then this thing about stink and so forth, I'm like,
Well,
okay.
that's a whole different
Okay,
thing.
and once again, and then here, and then,
Keep one thing at a time. This is,
But-
I'm talking about James right now. You want to go back to
Right, let's
Phyllis
stay
in a minute,
with me.
but- So right now,
Yeah.
his reason for whatever you're telling me this last clock out round, his first response, if you heard him, he said it's because she was wandering.
I was right there in front of him when he said
Okay.
it, I was
Well,
right there on the
then,
front
let me
line.
finish. So then he recasted it and he said that he told you, do what you do, and that is not a
No.
good response.
That's why I
Right.
rephrased it and told her what I needed her
Right,
to
so
do.
then the following is to be more specific, let her know what it is
Yes.
that's needed.
Yes.
That idea of just clocking out without any rational reasoning is not acceptable.
Right.
So this is going forward.
Mhm.
What he's told us he did in the past, I can't call him a liar, I can't call you a liar, I'm just showing you that this was his explanation and you're telling me your explanation. I can hear the two,
Mhm.
now the two of you know what actually happened, but going forward, it's how I expect for him to respond now,
Right,
and for you to, understand if there's a problem, just simply say, can
This
I,
is-
can I
okay.
ask why I'm being clocked out?
But
Just
this
say,
is
"Can
what I
ask why I'm being clocked
will
out?"
say in her behalf, from me taking my time and talking to her, she has got better. Because I can see now, she takes the time to listen to what I have to say instead of trying to talk over me.
Well, that's changed too. You're talking
Okay.
over his stop, but at the same token, you finally starting to explain is another reason she can listen.
Right.
There's nothing to listen to before, because you were saying nothing.
Right.
You can't
No.
listen to something when nobody
That
says it.
don't make sense either.
Okay?
No, that's
So-
true. When it don't make sense,
It's
they
no
don't
point.
understand, so it just.
Now you got it, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right, so
Okay?
that's why I wanted that straight, and
Mhm.
I'll finish with this other
Well,
stuff.
I do have one more thing. Now, do you understand how I was bringing the orders and why afterwards I was trying to talk to you to explain? Because it's like she said, when the line starts backing up, we gotta try to be short and sweet and pick it up a little bit. That's what I was trying to teach you today by having the conversation after we took care of customers. Because you got your suggested cell in there, you got your cheese in there, and you got your upsize in there. You got it all. We just gotta pick it up a little bit. That's what I was trying to teach you. That's all. Thank you.
You got it.
Okay.
All right, I want to follow up. Day were told to clock out and it didn't on the break thing. Can you tell me what day it is so I can see?
Not right off because I wrote it down wrong, so, but I have it on my, I have it on my,
Cause I can pull the time clock and see what they had you do.
Because if you look at my check is, I'm pretty sure it says, I think it's 41 hours, but, I don't have my time sheet with me, and nor do I have the piece of paper. But, yeah, I can do that.
Right. Because he just gave me an explanation, that I can double check and see if it makes any sense.
Okay.
Okay? And that's the reason I said, I totally understand what you're telling me. I get it. The way it's being managed is not cool. And it should have been resolved by now. But if I can find out the day that you want me to check, the day she told you to clock out, then I can call to her and see what her explanation is, and if it even matches what James just told us. So that makes any sense, okay? Because I got you all the way up to the 28th.
Okay, so, actually, I was 27, and the 23rd, you said was on a Saturday, so I know that's not right, because on the 23rd, on Saturdays, I work, my schedule's been 9 to 4 for a little while now. So I know that's not right on the, on that, so I wrote it down, wrong, so I just definitely have to, you
Well,
said
that's
that's on
okay.
July the 23rd is definitely.
I actually have enough information, except for I would really like to know what the day is that you feel she wrongfully asked you to clock out. Because I want to get to the bottom of just like James. James cannot just tell you to clock out without you knowing why, or you having a chance of fixing what's wrong. If Phyllis is having you just clock out and you don't have any understanding, none of this makes any sense to me, and I need to get that straight. So, you know, my plan is to talk to Phyllis. Now I got information, we'll see what she tells me, right? I'm not gonna make any excuses for her, I'm not making any excuses for the situation. I wanna find out from you what the date is that they wrongfully asked you to clock out. I'm gonna ask Phyllis what she has, I'm gonna see if she tells me what James just said. Do you understand how he explained why she had to clock out early, what his reason was?
He said, a longer break, but that wasn't, she said, clock out and don't come back before I went on break, and then I reiterated, I was like, what are you, and that day, and the day that I'm particularly talking about, I didn't clock out, because I was like, she's telling me to clock out and don't come back, and she's not even saying why. I don't know if she implied.
It wasn't, well, first she said she told you to clock out for a break,
And then she said, don't come back.
Okay.
And then and so.
It's kind of making sense to me after what he said, and if you don't understand, that's why I've got it. Here's an example.
On the timesheet, I remember correctly, it said that it was, 1:15, that I clocked out on the timesheet. That I was clocked out.
And you were supposed to work till 4. Okay, so then his explanation makes sense to me. see?
Okay, so if I remember correctly, so once again, I don't have the timesheet in front of me,
Okay.
but,
do you understand what he was trying to tell me? He was trying to say, let's say you're supposed to clock out at 4, and she had you take a break at 3:20. Well, instead of clocking back in at 3:50, there's only like 10 more minutes, so she said, don't clock back in, it's no point in it.
if I supposed to get off at 3.
Yeah. So, but let's see, if that isn't so, then I gotta talk to him, because it's a bunch of baloney. But if that's what she was doing, that makes sense, and I want you to understand that she wasn't then doing something personally against you, it just kind of makes sense.
Malicious. Well, the times that I'm referring to was just like, for example, I might have a minute left, and out of irritation, some things would say clock out, and, or maybe 5 minutes, or 15 minutes, or 20 minutes left, or 40, or, he just, out of irritation, so I hear what he's saying, but he speaks in a irritating manner, and when I'm telling him, I try to listen, I'm like, James, tell me why? And sometimes he have walked away as I'm trying to get an explanation of why, so I can.
It's a bad personality on his part, it's a very bad one. If you learn anything from working in a place like this, or working anywhere, because I've had to manage a zillion situations, People have personality. I have one, he has a bad one, Thomas does personality. We all have bad personality flaws. So the first thing to your success, and what you've already started to do, is like you said, this manager wants something this way, this manager wants something, this manager wants it this way. You're managing people's first of all, and that's what you're managing their management skill flaws. But in the bigger world, managing people's personality flaws helps you get along a lot farther in whatever it is that you need to accomplish. Because if you get stuck in their flaw, it makes your flaw bigger. And now you're stuck in 20 people's different bad behaviors. I will tell you, that's one of the difficult things of, dealing with people. Is dealing with people. Does that make sense? It's like some people don't listen. Some people overtalk. No matter when you talk to somebody, they don't care. Every single person has their own flaw. James has huge flaws, and he walks away. And he thinks the way he manages things is very masculine and very manly and very whatever. Because a lot of men, that's the way they manage it. It's like, it's a flaw. But as soon as you can figure out how they manage themselves and what their flaw is, and you know how to speak to it, it becomes a lot more manageable for you to try to accomplish what you need to accomplish. And that sounds like a bunch of baloney I'm talking to you about. But it's just people. It's human nature. It's life. None of us are perfect. Every one of us has mistakes and screw-ups in our personalities. And as soon as we accept our own screw-ups, it's real easy to then deal with other people's misgivings. Because I just have to tell you this, it's difficult dealing with so many people. And you're a very private person. So I know this is a challenge for you to have to speak out as private as you like to be.
I'm private, but yet I think I'm balanced. I mean, once again, I don't cross personal boundaries with people because I'm respecting their boundaries. I want to respect mine. And I know some of the customers, a lot of customers coming here, obviously, they know the managers on a personal level. Many of them do. But I don't, and so I think, I just really once again, just try to keep, if I didn't have conversations with the coworkers, I would know some of the things I know about them. And it's because I have conversations with them in a balanced manner, not cursing, not saying baby, love, just words. Yeah, wait, I mean, you're saying F-U-C-K,
They're still just words.
Yeah,
Even though they're bad, they're just words.
in front of customers, and it develops an atmosphere where
I agree.
the customers come in, and then when they if the customers come in, they hear managers and co-workers saying F-U-C-K, M-F, blah, 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 on the front line. And so when you get, and you hear customer, and then that one customer could just be one customer. That one customer goes out into the community and say, I just came from Burger King, and they were just cursing up a storm like they were at home. And then that customer talks about the next customer. That customer talks about the next customer. And so then when I think what that does is open up the door
For deterioration.
Well, it opens up the door for other customers to say, well, we know if we come into Burger King, they act that way on the front line in a professional atmosphere. So why should I, when I'm having a problem or a challenge, behave in a professional, in a decent or rational manner too? So they come in here possibly, and they like one person came here was talking about shooting up somebody, So that's my psychology of one psychology of why it's important to keep a professional atmosphere in front of customers and with your coworkers. It's,
I'm 100% agree. I am not disagreeing with you. I am 100. and
you'd be surprised who is tuning in and watching, the different, you know, what's going on. So you can say something about the clientele at a business, you can say what you want, but then you have the employees inside the business behaving in a manner, and the management, behaving in a manner that could be considered abusive or violent, and the customers are there looking, even though they might have been here, they might know them personally, whatever, but you don't know who else is paying attention, and they're like, okay, well, you see that.
Okay, so watch what happens. Watch what happens. Start with, I'm 100% in agreement with you. And if I let myself, I can get very angry because they are putting at risk the livelihood of everybody that's here. They're especially putting at risk my family. My family is responsible for everything and anything that goes on in here. If somebody is injured, if somebody is not appropriately, you know, being treated, if customers have bad things, my family is at total risk. We have our whole life in this place. My generations follow. They're our children, our grandchildren, CJ's children. So I can take huge, well, I can get incredibly upset, angry, and I could just, you can tell, I become, I don't even know what to say. Because you know what's wrong? I know everybody in these walls are all different people and different personalities. I have to respect their way of being as well as the way I want it to be. You know, it's difficult, just like when you, for your little hairdress, whether you wanted to wear it, I had to say that I can't have that because it's, other people are, you know, having issues. That, I had to ask you to do something that, you know, you want. I have to, so other people, yes, I'm asking them, do not curse, do not use profanity. Please do this, please that, use it. You know how many people don't use please and thank you in their daily lives? I can say about half of them back there. There's, you know, there are so many pieces to all the people that make this place up. And then there are just, we service, you know, about 2,000 people a day out there. There's about 2,000 customers from the time we open to the time we close. And we have to find a way of keeping them happy, being sure that we're not gonna make them sick, doing food wrong, and not cheating them, and not, you know, making them feel like, you know, we're a bad place to come, or we split their food, or, you know. It is very, very arresting if I allow it to be. But the bottom line is, and I have to respect, even though I'm gonna ask of everybody, just like I asked for James. I mean,